Yeah, Coach. I guess first question: how did Rocket feel the next day? From a soreness
Good.
standpoint, or
He was fine. And yesterday was a day off, so it was positive that way. But I think he's okay now. When you look at it, he's done well. I believe he's 5 months and 2 weeks out from having had surgery. 5 months was really the like very minimum we were going to do, and it's doing well. And when he went down that day, I was very scared because he was scared, and I didn't know until after we had our last one of these meetings before a game that he felt okay. Because after practice that day, he was very scared that he had tweaked it, and that's natural, after everything he's gone through. So, I'm excited about that because now, like I told him today, this morning when he was shooting after lifting, that he's only had 2 days where we've gone up and down. He's only been in two practices where we're getting a lot of, up and down, and we'll have some up and down today, which is good for him.
that? One more question, kind of along those lines in the backcourt. I've noticed that Iverson handles the ball a good bit. Even DJ at times. Shaquille Moore runs the point sometimes. How do you see that playing out when the SEC gets here? Is it just a matter of who's on the court and who works best?
Well, Iverson's our point guard without question, and he's going to play 30 minutes a game. So it's the other 10 minutes that he's not in. And right now, that's Shaq. And now when DJ Jeffries gets the ball, anytime he rebounds on defense, he's always going to push it because I really trust his decision making. He's a very good passer. And we'll run offense through him at times in the half court, uh, different sets, different things, because he is a really good passer. And, he's a very willing passer. He loves to make the pass that leads to baskets. So he's an excellent passer.
Andy, go ahead and jump in there.
Hey Ben, the other night, Shaquille Moore said Cam Carter. I think the term he used was fearless freshman, and would you agree that he's kind of a fearless freshman? And what does that look like, fearlessness?
Well, he competes every day in practice against these guys. He's been fighting, against Iverson and fighting against Shaquille and fighting against Rocket, and getting better because of it. How you get better is playing against other good players and trying your very hardest on every single possession. And my best teams that I've coached during my career always had great competition at each of the positions, which makes you raise your level of play when you're not having to compete. And that's why he's so good for us. And because of that, he's really grown as a player. He's improved so much. I'm so excited about him. And not only is he fearless, but he also has a tremendous work ethic. Like he loves to work. He's a gym rat. He has got an incredibly bright future. And of all those four guards, on the ball, he may be our best defender. Now, off the ball, he's not. He's still learning how to stunt and get back to his own. Like Iverson is really good at stunting and getting back. He and DJ are both incredible, as is Cam Matthews at that. Those three guys are our best. But he's learning that to use that athletic ability to really off the ball. He's kind of still a freshman learning how to become better at that.
Andy, if you had a follow up, go right ahead. If not, we'll go to Stefan.
Steph, are you?
Hey Ben, just following up there on Rocket. I know you had said that you were expecting his minutes to go up a little bit against Morehead State. Is there still a number you have in mind with that?
No, not necessarily. I just think that we're going to play more minutes this game. The last game he came in, he had two great passes that led to baskets, but in both cases he ran the guy over, and he's got to get him back into the habit of jump stopping. I know they jump stop at Michigan State, so that's not a new thing for him. Tom Izzo's teams jump stop, so he's just got to get back into that groove of making those plays so that we're not turning the ball over. But he was tremendous in practice on Monday and Tuesday. He played really well and was really a problem. And like you looked at him, he's just as good as any of our guards. So it's just a matter of him getting back and getting out there and getting comfortable again playing. And a big part of that is just getting more and more practice time because, and like I mentioned earlier, that he's only been in a couple of practices where we've been going up and down a lot, and that's really good for him as well, just to get that feel of a real game, getting up and down.
And what have you kind of seen from Morehead State in film and what they bring into the matchup?
Well, they've got good players. I mean, number one, Broome inside their starting five-man was MVP of the OBC tournament last year that they won, that got them into the NCAA tournament, beating Belmont by 15. We all know Belmont's always a good team and a good program. But they have some other good players. I really like Potter. He's their starting three-man. Number 5, I believe. He's a very, very good shooter. Really knows how to play. Hollowell, a Wofford transferred, that obviously players at Wofford all have to do one thing well, shoot. He can really shoot. And so they're putting shooters around the big to stretch the floor, and they have a very good shooting team. And when you look at, I just got done watching their game from last night. Cooper can shoot it. Wolf's a good shooter. Seabree is a good shooter. They have a bunch of guys that can shoot the ball. They're trying to give the big guy space inside Broome to go to work. And Broome's a very good player. I mean, if you watch edits of him from the like last year against Belmont, he was dominant. He's why they won the conference championship a year ago, and they're picked for second this year behind Belmont going into the season.
We'll go back to Paul to wrap it up.
Coach, not specifically looking ahead to the Bahamas tournament, but obviously a quick turnaround before y'all have to get on the road. What's kind of the schedule after the Morehead State game on Sunday?
Well, Monday we'll take off because that'll be the last day we're off till we're traveling back after the tournament in the Bahamas. And then we'll practice here Tuesday, fly down Tuesday, go through customs, which supposedly takes about an hour, get to the hotel, and then practice Wednesday later in the day because it's a late game on Thursday. And then Friday will be a preparation practice, shorter, but we'll still go live with tape and then play again Saturday morning. So it's a quick turnaround between game 1 to game 2. And then we'll fly back Saturday.
Appreciate it.
That's about it.
Actually, one more. Andy, go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry for making you stay
No
longer.
problem.
I was curious. Looking around the country, there have been a number of upsets this year. Did you kind of point to that as your team, like, hey, like you can't take a day off, like this is any team can kind of beat any team at any time.
Yeah, and you've seen it. You've seen it time and time again. You see it every year at this time of year, but you see it multiple times. And I go back to thinking about Virginia losing at home to Navy. I mean, that was a big upset, and obviously George Mason beat someone really good. Who was it? George Mason upset.
Maryland beat. Or George Mason beat Maryland.
Yeah, beat Maryland. And, I mean, there's been some upsets that you always know, and that's why these games are tough. Playing against older teams that know how to play, that are playing with a chip on their shoulder, and also playing with no pressure because they're loose. So you see a lot of games that you get surprised at sometimes that are upsets early in the season, and we don't want to be one of those.